And here we are at the top left-hand corner of the map Whirlwind. We have our blue Protoss player from the Team Prime. It's the one and only creator, runner-up in the Blizzard World Championship. Winner of a lot of money this year. His opponent here in the top right-hand corner from the Team FXO Open Esports. Their next third player they've thrown in, it's Whale.
So a little bit surprising here to see Whale coming out. Not that I'm upset. As I said, I love this guy, but creator's good, man, and he has been having some great results recently versus Zerg. So here versus FXO Whale, I mean, okay, you know what? Actually, Whirlwind was an open map pick, and he won last time I saw him, so it's like, all right, you know, I've been winning a lot on Whirlwind. Let's do this. Let's take down Creator. See if you can do it. It's a very, very big map, folks. Robotics play is fantastic for Protoss. And Zerg, I mean, okay, it's not HOTS yet, so I can't say Hydralisks.
Yeah.
You just can't. But I would love Hydra if HOTS were the game here.
I really like drop play here. On both sides, actually. Quick drops into either of these guys' bases, because there is a lot of space you can actually navigate that's out of the range of the Xel'Naga Tower. Because as you get into the very late game here, it's a little bit easier for Zerg players to kind of take the map, and they have so many open spots to actually navigate around these open attack paths that have to be explicitly scouted by their opponents, that I do think that Creator's going to be not playing for the super, super, super late game.
No, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. With the and Whale, we mentioned his aggressiveness, you know, and I mean, it looks like it's translating here into his ZVP is he's opening up with a 14 pool, which is a little atypical. You don't see that, and it opens up the opportunity for aggression here. Creator is going to opt to throw down the Forge before the Nexus, in fact. Just a really, really late Forge, but it's definitely safe that way.
Yeah, that'll allow him to pylon block too, so we'll see if he does that in just a second. No, actually, just chooses to run away. I want to see what purpose he has for those excess resources. Nexus obviously following that Forge up here in just a second. This is going to get him to a little bit earlier Gateway, a little bit earlier Cybernetics Core 2, but you know, not too much out of the ordinary for both these players.
Now, this is a massive ramp at the natural expansion. We actually saw a game recently. It's eluding me right now, but I mean, it's not the easiest ramp to force field. It's pretty big. And the supply depot does help you out, but remember, that can always just go down.
Right.
So there's a lot of aggressive options here from Whale, and I would not be surprised if this is why we see he chose this map, because it does take 3 force fields to block it off. Okay,
well, Creator is going to have this photon cannon up in plenty of time to defend this. No real issues there. And did he full wall? I think he did. Yeah.
Well, except for the supply depot, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, neutral supply depot. And it looks like he's going to knock that out now, but he will remain very, very safe at the beginning of this game.
All right, so Whale is going to be taking a third base down in the bottom right, which is pretty cool. You know, the more natural third, of course, would be closer to your opponent, but in this situation, that's a lot closer to your opponent, especially with the double ramps you have at that third. So Whale is just going to be chasing this Zergling all the way, or the probe, all the way home, and it will make it and drop down the Cybercore.
That's right. So Creator's going to show his hand pretty soon, though, and the question is, do we see the earlier next couple of gas? What does he start investing in? He consciously went for the earlier Forge, and I want to know if he's going to utilize that with the quick +1 weapons and try and put on pressure that way, or if he's going to take a similar approach to last time and do some sort of a quick 2-base all-in.
We should see a sentry behind this Zealot. A Stalker, you know, is pretty well. He doesn't have the full wall off, but in either case, going for a really, really fast +1, like if he were to drop that now, it will likely mean we're going to see a +1 4-gate play. You don't want to reveal +1 too fast unless you have to, and with that build, of course, you do. Conversely, if we're going to see some sort of type of Immortal Sentry or an expansion play, you can always grab that +1 later. You don't really need to go so fast, but he's already starting it up, so it's definitely a possibility we could have either a +1 4-gate, or it could be, you know, a Blink Stalker play with how unfortunately placed Whale's third would be for them.
Okay, well, Whale, looks like this base is going to get scouted here. I do believe, yeah, it looks like Creator got up close enough to make sure that there was going to be no creep or anything along that line, and did get in to see this third base down in the bottom right-hand corner.
Fast robo here as well, and I mean, yeah, the fast +1 can always just be to fool your opponent, but he is following the Stalker up with sentries. 3 gas is going down for Whale right now. He's going to be able to tech up a lot.
Yeah, he is, but he could get caught in a similar sort of situation to his teammate, though, if he decides to tech too aggressively. Now, it's not necessarily the case that Creator is going to go for Immortal Sentry all-in, but it's very powerful right now. And his robotics facility coming up, about the same time that he got his third and fourth gas, too, is not necessarily indicative that he's going to go for it. So we'll be keeping a keen eye on what pops out of here.
1, 2 gateways, 3 gateways. So, I mean, these are the openings to an Immortal Sentry all-in, absolutely. And the Twilight Council is going to follow this up. So this is actually looking a little bit more like an expansion build, especially with the Observer being made. So he will be expanding from this. And Whale is just chilling. I mean, he dropped 3 gases all at 54 supply. That's and he's going for double Evo, so it actually just looks like he's going to go for a really heavy unit-based play here, whether it's going to be Roaches or Lings. We'll get to see where he decides to ultimately spend his gas.
All right. Well, he is saving up a bunch of resources at the moment, triple producing Overlords, and there we go, finally investing back into a couple of upgrades to help him utilize some of those resources. And, I mean, he's... with the upgrades, he should be a hive here, or excuse me, a lair, yeah, with that next 100. And, I mean, this looks like it's going to be a Mutalisk play. Yeah, now with the macro hatch, excuse me, especially. Link's coming in to check this third right now. Creator taking it exceptionally late, of course. Wait until he gets out as Immortals, and now will be going for it. Going too greedy there. Definitely could have cost him, but Whale didn't actually have any units, so... No, but there we have it. Third base is up. Baneling Nest being morphed in right now, and yeah, I don't think we've seen a Roach Horn, so just going to go for the Baneling route, and but the question is what's going to pop out after Lair Tech? Are we going to see that Quick Infestor? Are we going to even see Spire play here? Because Spire play on this map can be very annoying and can work pretty effectively. Yeah, I mean, Spire is probably going to be it, because if he goes for the Infestors, it's pretty risky because he has no ranged upgrades here, and those Infested Terrans will just be actually fairly weak. But that would be good because Creator didn't go for Carapace. Carapace is just so strong against Infested Terran. He is chronoing out the additional upgrades here, so we could have a really strong attack, with Immortals and Stalkers and things of that nature, as he's got 2 additional gateways going down. And, I mean, with his very fast... yeah, 2 more gateways, in fact, are going to be following this up. So this is going to be a pretty powerhouse attack with Blink, Immortals, +2, and 3 bases from Creator. Okay, and on the flip side, we do have Infestation Pit coming up with Ventral Sacs and Pneumatized Carapace. Ooh. So this is huge drop play that's going to make its way out. And this is something we used to see a little while ago from a lot of Zerg players. Dropping those Banelings down directly on top of your opponent's units, also loading up an Overlord and getting in there and doing economic damage at the same time. Good way to pin your Protoss opponent in. And look at this, it's already being saved up for a big drop onto this natural economy. Kevin, and you talked about this in the beginning of the game, how you'd love to see both players go for drops, and Creator didn't, and Whale is good for it. You know what? And see, we were talking about the Muta play, and I was like, looking at the minimap, I'm like, this just isn't the best map for Mutas, but he can't go for the Infestor play here. Oh wait, he can, because he's going for drops, and how awesome is drops and Banelings and Fungals? They're great. Well, a few units getting caught off to the side here. Thankfully, no more force fields thrown away. And, with that Overlord, shooting down the side. And he says, wait a second, that's Overlord speed. We'll see how he wants to prepare for it. Of course, Warp Prism is coming up. These Zerglings not going anywhere. Oh, man, more bad force fields. Creator's not been on point with his control of his Sentry so far this game. Yeah, he barely got any Zerglings there. Now the counterattack is coming in. Banelings and Lings. Banelings will be making it all the way into the main base. Not all of them, but a lot. Gonna take out the pylon. Only Phone powers 1 gateway, unfortunately, and doesn't even kill the Sentry. Yeah, but he's done a ton of economic damage, so Creator has to gun for it right now, and he is. What is here to defend this for Whale? I'm actually not sure. He's morphing in another 21 to 25 Banelings, and I assume those are inside of his main. Yes, they are. He's got another lot of those Infestors popping up, too, and he's really going to need to lock this down. Otherwise, if Creator Prime holds, then he wins the game. I mean, yeah, so the third base is still looking real good for Creator. Fungal Growth's going to trap these Stalkers, though. There are a ton of spines here, and Baneling's going to be dropping down on everything, and he is actually... he's just going to obliterate Creator's army. Yeah, that attack is now dead. These Immortals are really cool, but not by themselves. Yeah, drones kind of actually are the hard counter to Immortals. Yeah, well, the speedling's more than that, but yes, you're absolutely correct, because they do more damage against the armored units. So we have a weird little situation here where Creator has actually retained 3 Nexuses, and he's sitting on 46 workers to his opponent's 42. So now the Stalkers have to basically clean up a little bit of the rest, but honestly, you know, Whale needs to start doing some economic damage here in a hurry. Does he have another drop prepared? That's the question.
Can we take a look actually at the economy of both players right now? Oh, Whale is getting a phenomenal engagement right now. Cleans up those Immortals, almost cost-free. Will now be getting the Zealots as well, and it's going to chase down these last few Stalkers, and the movement speed on these Lings is going to make a world of a difference right now in making this supply a little bit better. Still 28 Lings on the way, and actually, Creator's pushing with these forces. He should not be doing that, because if when these Lings spawn, he'll be able to surround and kill everything.
Now, Creator has re-established his base for the most part. Needs another pylon to repower one of those gateways there, so that's a pretty cheap investment for him, and he won't have to go through all of the build time. And he's still sitting on a lot of gateways. Those are all morphing in 10 gateways, 3 bases, a lot of workers. If he can defend a follow-up push here, he's actually looking really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, well, but Whale knows that his current position tech-wise is just so far advanced to Creator's, because Creator's got Immortal, Sentries, and Stalkers. Whale has Infestors, Drops, and Banelings. And without a lot of Stalkers, Creator doesn't have a great way to deal with this. And Stalkers are bad against Lings. So in that situation, he needs Splash. Creator needs Splash, and he has none. He has no way to deal with this.
Fake drop coming in for Whale right now, and Creator bit on that hard, so he doesn't have all of his forces ready here in the bottom left-hand corner. That's where the real economic damage is going to be done. So Whale trying to find his way back through the use of a creative little play here, and it's going to work. These workers are all but forfeit. This Nexus is already taking a huge amount of damage, and even though he lost a lot of Overlords, it just doesn't matter.
Trying to warp in a few Stalkers to do a little bit of extra damage. The Nexus goes down with it, does the economic advantage that Creator was holding. And if... Well, yeah, the Lings are all going to get out of there, but meanwhile, something going on at the third base of Creator. That may just be an Observer. In fact, yeah, okay, just hanging out.
Yep. Observer hanging out overhead, and now the situation's flipped on its head. Creator, all he had to do was hold on to his 3 bases, and he wins. Because he was up a base on his opponent, he could catch up in tech, he could continue to put on pressure. That wouldn't have been an issue, but now it certainly is. And now he's getting very low on his main. He's oversaturated on his natural. He's got way too many workers available, and he's going to try and put on some pressure, but look at this. There's so many Infestors up. There's already enough Spine Crawlers to delay this army.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't any Banelings, I guess, which is a small thing, but the Lings almost by themselves is enough to kill that army, and in fact, he's just going to go for a counterattack right now. He has so many Zerglings. The Spine Crawlers will buy him more than enough time at home. Ling dropping into the main while the Lings run into the third, into the natural, everywhere. How is Creator going to deal with this?
I don't know. He's forced to cancel this base once again. The Nexus goes down, and it's going to be denied for a very long period of time. The Stalkers are actually getting cleaned up, will get cleaned up pretty efficiently, I should say, by a large number of Speedlings, and looks like they have enough to be able to rally back against these forces inside of the main, and Creator is going to hold once again, but he completely pulled that attack back that allowed Whale to actually reestablish his natural base, and now he's up to 13 Infestors.
Only 51 workers, though, to the 62 of Creator. If Creator can find a way to get a third and hold it, he's going to have an advantage. But he lost his Cybercore. He can't make Stalkers right now. That's going to make him pretty vulnerable to any drop play if Whale decides to utilize that.
And Whale very well could. I mean, he's already got a research. He's already used it to pretty good success in this game. So he retains a couple of Infestors for defensive purposes, runs to the front with most of the rest. This is an 11 Infestor attack here, which could actually do some significant damage. Creator trying to take a base once again, forced to cancel that pylon again. And Whale, you know, he has to back out of there, but he's already done his damage.
Well, Creator's got Archons now, though, and that is exactly what he needed in order to deal with the Zergling quantities that we're seeing. Archons, of course, is going to make it a little bit tougher to get out. Oh my god, that was so many probes.
Yeah, more workers killed there. Although we already mentioned before that Creator's oversaturated, so that actually doesn't affect him all that much. It's going to be annoying if he reestablishes his third. He won't be able to transfer over quite as many, but it's still not the worst situation for him. What is the worst situation for him is this army, though. 14 Infestors coming up to the front.
Yeah, and he has no way to deal with Infested Terrans. I mean, Archons are good. They're also very expensive, and Creator can't afford to lose them. So if we just see a ton of Infested Terrans here, I mean, it could be a little sticky for Creator because he needs that third.
All right, and it looks like Whale is just going to move around the right-hand side here, start to barrel down on the natural. And then decides to pull back. Well, he has enough resources. He could actually go for another base right now while continuing to buff his Infestor count. And indeed, he does put down a hatchery this second.
But he's still not making drones, Kevin. Is he still sitting in the 40s?
Let me see here.
Okay, 57. So 57 to 62. He's not actually at much of a deficit at all. And he's got Infestors, which you can actually play at an economic disadvantage if you have enough Infestors.
Yep, and it's not even a disadvantage until this third base actually comes up. And he's got to fungal that. He does. Observer dies.
Nice spot. Whale now in a position where he can push once again. Storm is halfway done. If Storm completes, Infested Terrans are going to significantly lose their value here. Right. Probing, checking to see what units are up there. He decides there are not enough fungal growthing on the Zealots. And now more Infested Terrans going to follow this up. And as we said, Kevin, there's no Storm.
No, it's still, what, 35 seconds away, so it's going to be a very long time before he's able to engage with that. It looks like feedback actually hits one Infestor, but it was so low in energy, I don't think, maybe it was that dead Infestor, I'm not really sure, but the Infested Terrans now dropping down up to the front. There's not many Zealots to be able to buffer this damage, and that's what he wanted before, but they were all fungled and picked off by the initial smaller amount of Infested Terrans. It looks like this Nexus could fall again.
Yeah, this timing out of Whale was perfect. I mean, if he had hit a few seconds later, Storms would have fallen on everything of Whale, but in this situation, he has no way to kill these. He just has to let them die, and the reality is that the Nexus will fall before the Infested Terrans do. And Creator just lost whatever advantage he may have had.
And that's all he needs to do. He kills a Nexus. He backs away on a superior economy now. He's up a base. He's backed by 6 workers, but again, that doesn't matter because now Creator is way oversaturated. There's nothing inside of his main whatsoever, and his natural is getting extremely low, and you can't have 57 workers on that. He has a long-distance mine with him.
Yeah, I mean, Whale has played everything here perfectly. I love how slowly he pushed that third, you know, like, obviously, we as the commentators, we have vision of everything, so it's easy to be like, hey, if Whale does Infested Terrans right now, Creator is actually just going to die. But, you know, from Whale's perspective, he tested it perfectly. Threw a couple up, was like, not that much. Okay, fungal. Yeah, more. More. Okay, all right, let's go. And just pushed it all in. And, I mean, now he's got this game. It's his game to lose.
Yeah, I agree. He's moving up to Tier 3 Tech 2. The Hive and Spire are going to finish it almost exactly at the same time. He'll be able to gun it for Broodlords and Greater Spire right afterwards, but he's kept his opponent pinned in time and time and time again. And now Creator's starved out of this game. And if he can't hold on to this fourth base, if the next attack comes through and even just a little bit of damage is done, that's it. GG.
Another Observer going to be sniped. Creator. That Observer was there for a decade, wasn't it? That was the one with the third. But yeah. Creator, I mean, even grabbing this third now, how's our worker supply? Oh, I thought that was the third. I was like, wait, what? What?
Yeah, he's trying to cut corners here and pick up 2 Nexuses, but he can't do it. And now some of his units are out of position, and Whale is just going to gun it for this Nexus once again. And Creator can't cancel this. It's just going to be almost insta-give by the Roaches.
And he's going to get to trap all the units with the Infested Terrans. Creator Prime guys here looking like he might go down to FXO Whale 100 supply and plummeting to 90 to 80 to GG.
All right, and there it is. FX Open Esports takes their first set here in the Premier Division. They're actually one of our new Premier Division teams. They did qualify through up and downs last season, and they win in style against Prime 5-2.
Yeah, a really great victory for them there to start this season off. And Prime not going to be too happy. You know, they got to have a better performance after that, after their first season, IPTL 1.
Yeah, well, we'll see how they perform in the next matches. Of course, guys, for the next couple of days, we're going to move down to the Contender Division for more IPTL games for you guys. So best of 9's coming up the next 2 days. That's going to be it for us tonight, though. Follow the IGN Pro League on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube is at IGN Pro League on any of those sources. You can follow us personally on Twitter, too. I am at Kevin Naki. He is at Kibbles.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Acer versus Fnatic. It's going to be crazy exciting. We'll see you then.